know that there are some people that, they get the diagnosis, the doctor says, okay, this is what we need you to go through. And they just say, okay, and they go through it. They don't ask any questions. They don't, they just, I think you're numb. I think it's difficult because you first hear the words that you have cancer and you don't know what to expect. And so what kind of questions do you recommend that somebody that's faced with that diagnosis that they can ask their doctor?
The first time around, when I was going through chemo, I should have asked, is this too much chemo? Is it not enough?
Mm-hmm.
Those two questions. What's recommended normally for this type of cancer?
That's a great question.
Same with radiation. I had to have 35 consecutive every day, except for Saturday and Sundays, every day during the week. I had to have that radiation. And I still wonder, that's in the back of my mind, did I have too many treatments? Was that radiation too strong? Or could it be the other way? Is it not strong enough? But this type of cancer for me, I think it was too strong. I think I should have had less doses than what I did.
Now, do they, I wonder if they take you and your situation and put you into some sort of a study, or do they document that somewhere along the lines in the medical forums to be able to say, look, she had cancer, this is a treatment that she got, and then this came back, and we believe it came back from the radiation, so that going forward, they can see how many cases that happened to, so that they can reevaluate just that. Was it too much radiation? Was it not enough? Could we have gotten away? Could we have kept her safe for this amount of time without giving her as much? Is there anything like that they take all this information and put it somewhere to learn from?
That would be a question. I think I'll ask Dr. Zahn the next time I see her, because that is a question, and that's a good question, because if I was only her second patient and she was going off of what happened the first time, if she's the only doctor doing that, what are the other doctors doing?
Right. I would just
they've got to confer with another doctor.
Right. I would want to know. Yeah.
I'll ask Dr. Zahn that next time.
All right. Well, then you let us know. Keep us posted, because I'd be really curious.
Okay.
How does your experience change your perspective of cancer treatment's effectiveness? I mean, I think they did a great job because they got rid of it, and you were able to be in remission for up to that 10-year mark. And again, just being so close to being on the other side of that, milestone. I mean, does it change your perspective on the effectiveness of the treatment?
I think it does. The research is real important. Talking to the doctors about risks and second opinions, that has to be the number one when it comes. And that's what changed my perspective on looking back at all my cancer treatments is, could things have been done differently?
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky. I had a good outcome. I had a good attitude going into it. There was no cancer in my family. So nobody in my family could figure out why I got cancer, how I got cancer. We still don't know to this day, the first time around, what I got that cancer from.
Right.
But yeah, just asking questions,
mm-hmm.
Trying to keep informed, getting as much information as I possibly could. That's what's changing my perspective on everything.
Well, and I think knowledge is power too. They always say you don't know what you don't know. So if you can ask those questions to find out those things, I think that's true. Asking the questions and not being afraid to ask the questions, not being intimidated by the doctor. I think that so many of us don't realize that the doctor is there to serve you. You're not impeding on his time, that time that he has with you sitting in the room. When he says, are there any questions, you need to, and if you think about it, my suggestion would be to write them down, put them on a piece of paper and take them in there with you. And that way, then if you get too nervous or you're afraid that you won't remember something, if you take that, where it's written down, then you can just pull that piece of paper out and say, hey, before we end up here, I've got a few questions that I'd like to have some answers to. And I think that my personal opinion is, I think that the doctors are appreciative of an informed patient. Now
Yeah.
I'm sure that you would agree, we have a love-hate relationship with Google, because you go on and you start searching and looking for all the things, and, you find the bad stories as well as the good stories. And
Yep.
so I think you have to limit some of that too, because you can make yourself crazy going through all of that. But I think going into the doctor and being informed and taking the questions with you, writing them down in advance so that you don't forget them. And I just asking the questions that are on your heart. I think that's a great suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did. I was a bad girl. I was told not to get on Google and look at all the different stuff on Google, and I did, because I
It's
wanted to
hard
know,
not to.
Oh yeah.
It's hard
Definitely.
not to. How does emotional support impact cancer treatment, do you think?
If it wouldn't have been for my husband and my family and what is now a very good support group to me, I would have never gotten through that. Um, when I first lost my hair, I was told hair's just vain. Well, it's not just vain, it's a part of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of your identity. And if it wouldn't have been for everybody surrounding me and supporting me, I probably would have been into a deep depression, because there was no answers to why I got the cancer. And thinking back, having all that support helped me keep my positive attitude and just keep going. I want to be an inspiration to other women, and not think about the past, not dwell on it. Just keep going, plugging through, living my life.
And so give me, what are ways that you actually work to keep your positive attitude? Because I know when you're going through treatment and you look in the mirror and you don't have any hair, it's hard. It is hard to smile. It is hard to tell yourself that things are going to be okay when you're looking at that reflection that doesn't look like it's going to be okay. So what is it that you did to really keep your positive attitude?
Well, when I came home the day that we shaved my head and I had my wig on, I had it on a pop bottle, because you told me to make sure I stored it on a pop bottle.
That's right. That's right.
Safe. And my 3-year-old at the time, it didn't faze him until he realized later on that evening, I was sitting on the couch and he looks at me and he goes, "Mommy, where'd all your hair go?" That did it. From that point on, that's how I kept my positive attitude. I, I, I brought the pop bottle out and I said, "Here's Mommy's hair. Do you like it? It looks better on you than on the pop bottle, Mommy."
But one of the things that we always told our son too was, if you make a big deal, it's a big deal. You just don't make it a big deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that that's exactly what you did, was you just didn't make it a big deal.
Yep. And having that support group, going and doing things, getting out, staying busy, that was another way I got through it. I didn't sit at home and be a bump on a log every day.
That's right.
I kept working. I worked all through my chemo. I think maybe I missed 2 weeks from work, and that was due to the allergic reaction and the unknown.
Right.
But after that, it was smooth sailing. I didn't mind working through it. If I didn't feel good, they knew what I was going through, and I got to go home from work. It wasn't a problem. And that's the reason why everything was positive for me, and I kept going.
And we're glad that you're still going, and we're glad that you're here today and that you were able to share your story with us. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and being such an inspiration.
Thank you for having me.
If you have any questions or comments or would like to know more about the guest on our show today, or for more information about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. And we invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today and listening to Christina's inspirational story on Hello Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker. And until next time, stay gorgeous.